Hey, it's Kilobite here, and this is going to be a video on a 2016 Mazda CX9. Just purchased this from Nelson Mazda just under a week ago, and unfortunately the weather has not been cooperating today. It's been wet, rainy, and so the vehicle's a little dirtier than I would have liked, and the wind keeps wanting to blow on the mic, so hopefully that won't be too bad. But as you can see, it's a really good looking SUV. They continued their soul of motion design concepts with the CX9, and I mean, it just looks really good. The front grille just comes up nicely into the headlights. You will notice the Mazda emblem is pretty large on this one. That's because the active cruise control, it's radar sensing, and that is where the radar signal comes from, and that allows the vehicle to speed up and slow down within your parameters when you're following someone. You can set it for a distance and it'll maintain that distance. And then here we have the back corner. The rear tail lights flow nicely into the together, and you know, again, it's with that whole soul of motion concept, which really makes these things just outstanding looking. This is a Grand Touring. It's the same for the most part as the Signature. There's a couple differences which we'll get into when we move into the interior, but from the exterior, unless it's night, you're not going to notice the difference. They both have 20-inch wheels. The Touring and Sport have 18-inch wheels. The tires are 255 width, which are nice and large, which gives it kind of a sporty look. It also helps with the handling and the braking, which are really, really good on this 3-row SUV. Driving it, you would never know it was 3-row. It drives like a Mazda. If you've not driven a Mazda, at least in the last few years, you owe it to yourself to drive one. This thing it's not like some of the other SUVs that are big and bulky and they handle that way. This one handles like a vehicle that's much smaller. This is the gray metallic paint, a $300 markup for this paint, but it is really nice. Now they got a lot of other nice colors too. We just happen to like this one. So if you have looked at any of the 3-row SUVs and done any research, you probably know that the Mazda CX9 has the Skyactiv turbo direct injection 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Yep, it's a 4-cylinder. Now, I've seen some reviews and read some stuff where people have complained that these professional reviewers have questioned that. The reality is it's got 310 pounds of torque at 2,000 RPM. It has 227 to 250 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, depending on what octane of gas you put in it. Now, I just have the regular gas in this thing, have driven it over 500 miles, and there's a few things that I want to mention. One, in the city, it drives fine. The turbo actually has a variable pressure, so basically when the RPMs are low, it adjusts the pressure to the turbo so that it has much less lag than a regular turbo would. And you can notice it. There's very little, if any, turbo lag. It's just so minor you don't notice it. I've driven it on the interstate. I will tell you, I've had it at a decent clip, and it's got plenty of power, and it does not downshift unless you put your foot to the floor. It doesn't need to downshift. We drove up several hills on the interstate, long, mile plus hills on the interstate, where trucks all back up in the right lane, hopefully in the right lane, and it actually never downshifted. It didn't have to. It's got that much torque at, again, 2,000 RPM. So don't let anyone scare you saying that it's just a little 4-cylinder. It's got plenty of power, and this one is lighter than most. They lost a lot of weight going to this new design, and it's really nice. And just to be, in case you're not familiar with my channel, I have a couple cars that are 400 horsepower plus. My daily driver has over 400 horsepower, so I like power, and I'm telling you that this has plenty of power. It's not like you're going to take it to the drag strip. It doesn't have that kind of power. That's your horsepower. This has torque. That's what gets the vehicle moving, and this has plenty. The cup holders on top of the engine, they're not actually cup holders. That is your oil dipstick, so you can check the level of your oil, and that's your fill cap for your oil. They're not cup holders like it appears to be in some videos. Yeah, sorry, bad humor. It does have a 6-speed automatic, and again, it's nice and smooth. And it very rarely has to downshift unless you just put your foot on it. So as far as the drivetrain and stuff, very happy with it. It's more than adequate. It's got plenty of power. All right, so we're here in the back. Going to open the back tailgate. Just push the button, and that'll open. And it opens to decent height. I am 6 foot, and I can walk underneath it at the center without hitting my head. Now the edges hang down a little bit farther, the outside edges, so I'd bump my head on those. But you can adjust it if you're shorter and you don't want it that high. You can adjust it so it doesn't open quite so high. To close it, I will just show you real quick. You can push that button here, or you can just pull down on the handle. But here's the back end. I'm hoping this is showing up well on the video. You'll see that there's some cubby holes in the sides. Each side has a cubby hole, and that adds actually a fair amount of space. There is a secret compartment, so don't tell anybody this is here, where you can put like a laptop or tablets or whatever under here, and your spare tire is under there, so it's not underneath your vehicle, so it'll be nice and clean. There is a power plug here. The back seats, this is your third row. The headrests, if you pull, make sure I got it on camera, tip that down, well, it's hard to do with one hand perhaps. That'll allow those to fall down, but you kind of got to put, there it goes. Just got to push them a little farther than I was. So that'll drop those so you have better visibility. To put the seat down all the way, just pull that down, push forward. That down, push forward. There you got your flat cargo area, and you're good to go. The middle row also folds down. I will tell you there's a couple options you can do on the middle row. You can fold them all the way down, and that will give you, of course, the most cargo room. They will leave a gap between them and the seat here. You can also set the seats straight up. Right now they're tilted back a little to give you a little more room if you don't want to put them down all the way. So let me put these back up. And there you go. Push the button, beeps at you, and it lowers. All right, so this is again the Grand Touring, and this one happens to have the sand interior. My wife likes light interiors, so that's what we got. Yes, obviously there's some black in there. It has a couple features in here. Quickly is the shade. You have your pull-up shade, both sides of the back doors. You have a place here for books. There's also a cup holder built in, and as you can see, okay, so that's driver's seat is actually, I'm 6 foot, as I've said, and that is where my seat normally sits. So as you can see, there's plenty of room there for legs, easily enough room for a 6 foot person. The rear has its own heat and air zone that can be set to auto. It has double pouches. One really cool feature of the second row is the fold down. You have a couple drink holders, cup holders. That pops up, give you a little cubby there, and the thing my 10-year-old niece loves, yep, USB chargers, 2 of them. Yeah, she found that fascinating. All right, so there's your third row. Hopefully this is showing up on video. There's your third row. How do I get in, and how big is it? Well, grab this, pull your seat all the way forward, and that's your room. And I'm going to show you that I can get in. Sorry about my ugly feet, but I step in, and voila, I'm in. It's not that bad. Now, you know, lady wearing a skirt or dress might have a bit of a challenge. You know, and I'm not saying it's super easy, but there you go. You can get in, not bad. Then we'll pull this back, and I will try to set the seat. So that's pretty close to where it was. Let's see if I can get an angle. As you can see, there's my feet. I've actually, you know, you can slide your toes underneath, not a problem. So now it's same. Again, I got plenty of room for my knees. I will tell you that head-wise, there isn't much headroom for a 6 foot person. I would be okay riding in this for, you know, short distances, but I wouldn't want to make a long trip with me sitting in the back. Third row also gets a window. So you get the nice window, unlike some other SUVs. And there you go. There's a look to the front. And to get out, push it down and forward, and you just crawl out. One thing I'll mention real quick is the carpet. So the carpet came with it, and as you can see, it covers everywhere. The removable carpet is everywhere, so it's got good coverage. So here's the front door. Again, it's got a pocket down here. There is actually that serves as a cup holder if you want to put one there. This is real aluminum. On the Signature, this is actually wood, if I remember correctly. And this is the Napa auburn leather. This is the piano black on the Grand Touring. You got your side mirror adjustment, window control lock, door lock. The 4 window controls, if you pull them all the way up, the window, all 4 windows have this. Pull it all the way up, the window will go all the way up. Push it all the way down, the window goes all the way down. And that is the case on all 4. You can see the nice Bose speaker. It's got a nice 12 speaker Bose system. Again, this is sand. The Grand Touring and Signature both have 2 sets of presets on the driver's seat. So like when I want to get in and my wife's been driving, I just hit 2 and it backs my seat up, moves the back down a little bit. The controls, power controls, you got your lumbar, you got forward, back, up, down. Let's see if I can actually, there's that. Yeah, so here on the left side, that'll open the back. This is for your blind spot, on and off. If the light's on, it's off. This is for your lane keep assist, parking sensors, traction control, and then this is your tire pressure set if you get new tires or whatever and need to reset, resync them with the sensors inside. Down here you got your fuel cap and your hood release. So inside it is push to start and stop. So put your foot on the brake, hit the start, and it'll start. Back the seat up all the way. Woo! Wow, it goes a long ways. So yeah, if you're tall, you won't have a problem with leg room in the driver's seat for sure. Let me mention while I'm thinking about it. So there's your center. This here's your inside lights. You can also do that. Your moonroof control. It's got a nice little sunglasses spot. It does have a moonroof, as you can see there. It does not have a panoramic roof. If that is a deal breaker, well, you're out of luck on the Mazda. But I will tell you honestly, how often would you use it? It adds a lot of weight. It's at the top of the vehicle, makes it handle worse, and it's something that, quite frankly, I don't ever use. The moonroof, the only time I use it is to flip the back up when I first get in on a hot day, if it's been in the sun, to let the air kind of flow out the top, the hot air, and then I close it. It's just, of course, here in the South, it's hot. If you're in a really nice climate, then a panoramic roof might be nice. Here's your steering wheel. This is your phone button to answer, phone to hang up. Now, yes, it's got 2. I've got a system on another vehicle that it shares one, and it honestly is very annoying because you got to push and hold it, and it eventually will hang up. Whereas this is nice and clear. No, you push that button, it hangs up. Volume control up and down for your music as well as your phone. Your info button, I'll show you what it does momentarily. Fast forward and rewind. Obvious horn. This is, remember I said it has adaptive cruise control. Here is how you set the distance. This is your speed up, your slow down, your RES is to reset. I forget actually. So this is your cruise control on and off. And then your mode is whether you want it to auto adjust your speed to traffic. All right, so on the dash, your leftmost is your TAC. As you can see, the red line's about 6K. There is a P for park right here. Hopefully it's showing. Your speedometer, and then your multifunction gauge. So the info button will rotate it, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on this video at least. Trip A, trip B, you got water temperature, service due. This is your keep assist. So the two lines next to the vehicle, those are the lines for your on the road. When it has lines to follow, those will light up white. And then you have a compass. So let me take it back to where it was. And I went too far. There we go. So there is cruise control. And if you remember, I said how you push the buttons to make it, to control how close it'll follow. Hitting up extends that box. So there you go, that'll be the max distance. If you want to tailgate, take it all the way down. Hit mode again, cruise control, Mazda radar cruise control deactivated, and then the CAN off will turn the main cruise control off. So there's your dash. So now we have the center console here. A couple things. Here's your heat warmers. One for each side. It does not have ventilated seats. To be honest, most ventilated seats don't really work that well, but these don't have them at all. I'll also mention, because I had read somewhere where someone was saying the steering wheel is heated. It is not. It does have auto on 2-zone control on the front. You probably heard the fan light up because it's trying to get it down to 70 in here. It will adjust the fan and the temperature and the whether it's circulate or fresh. And let me get around that so you can see some of the things, or you can completely turn it off. And I'm still new to it, obviously. You have, and like I say, there's dual. So rear on means that the rear is controlling itself. Remember we saw the rear one earlier. If I push that, the rear is now set to the driver's side. Alright, so if you want to disable the auto, just hit the fan. Turn it down to where you want it, and it'll automatically disable it. And there you go. So you got your shifter here. It does have a little button on the front. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, and manual. If you push your foot on the brake, drop it back to drive, slide it over, there is your manual. Shifting forward actually goes down gears. Shifting back will take you up gears. And slide it back to the right, you're back in your regular automatic. Why you'd want to have manual in an SUV, I don't know, but it is a Mazda. Maybe you're going to race it. Sport, if you push forward, sport mode. What sport mode does is adjust the shift points primarily on the transmission, so it'll hold the gear a little bit longer than it would otherwise. This does cost you fuel, but gives it a little more sportier feel. Turn it back off. The next button down from it is your parking brake. It's electronic parking. Put your foot on the brake, lift up. It's now got a parking brake on. And push foot on the brake, push down, and there's your parking brake is now off. So this is your entertainment controls, your entertainment system controls, which is more than entertainment, but for lack of a better word on my part, the easy one is this. Push down to mute. This does volume, up and down. I have it down. The button here is your home button. So we'll go back up, and I'm not going to do a lot of detail on this. Communication, obviously that's your phone. Entertainment, so that would be your music. Push down on the center button, that gives you your options. So you've got FM, AM, XM, AHA, whatever that is, Pandora, Stitcher, Bluetooth, USB, 2 of them, and auxiliary. So those are your options for your music, or podcast, whatever you want to do. And hit home again. Applications, so you can have applications on here. HD radio, traffic map, fuel economy, vehicle status monitor are a couple that are currently on. Navigation, it does have a nice navigation system. I will tell you, you cannot enter a destination while moving. That's really annoying when you're driving and you got someone else in the car with you who wants to add it, put it on there. It will not let you. You got to stop. And then your settings, again, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on these, but that's your HUD, heads-up display, which is awesome. It is flat out awesome. I will show that here shortly, but you've got several options on for it. Display is your actual tablet up there, how it displays. You got your safety systems, your sound, your clock, your vehicle, devices, and system. So again, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail, but those are what you have. And there's quick buttons. So like I just hit, that's to show your music, that's to show your nav, that's to bring it to home. This thing turns, it moves up and down, left and right, and pushes. It's a very nice button. It's a little bit similar to your BMW setup. 2 cup holders, which have the little things to keep the cup, if it's a small cup, centered. The center piece. So this I was worried about. I will tell you, it's a little high. It's not bad, but it is a pretty high center console. I mean, it's good to rest your arm on. And it opens to either side, like so. You have your SD card for the navigation here, and you got 2 USB ports, which do charge, and an auxiliary connection, and then a space for stuff. It's not a lot of space, but it's a decent amount. I will say, if you're thinking that'll hold a CD, yeah, well, it doesn't have a CD player. Pretty much all your manufacturers are going away from CD players. So this opening in the middle I thought would be a kind of silly, but found driving on a trip the other day, my wife was sitting here with her arm on her side, on the rider side, as I was driving, and I actually just flipped mine up, reached in, got out what I wanted to get out, closed it. She never had to move her arm. So it's actually it's a lot more useful than you might think. The wiper control is on the right side. It does have auto wipers. Those things are awesome. I didn't think I'd like it. I really do. The left side has your lights. It does have fog lights. I will show those when it gets a little darker, so you can actually see the lights. And let's see the glove box. Yep, slow open glove box. This happens to be your manual, but it's kind of a standard space for a glove box. It does have a spot here to put stuff, otherwise known as the trash can, because trust me, that's what you'll be dumping back in there when you're driving. It's a trash can. So we got 535 miles on this, and it's been really nice. The quick thing on the technology pieces here, it has blind spot. Blind spot will beep when you go to turn. You turn the blinker on, your turn signal. If someone's in your blind spot, it'll beep at you. It'll show up on the HUD. It'll show up on the multi-purpose gauge if you have the one showing the car and the lines. And there in the mirror, you'll see a light showing that someone's in your blind spot. The lane assist will actually nudge you back into your lane. I have tested this and it does work. It is not an auto drive. It's not going to keep you centered as you go down the road. If it starts drifting left, it'll nudge you back to the right. If you drift right, it'll nudge you back to the left. But it's not going to center it. It's not meant to do that. But it's a great safety feature. I have tested it. It will actually pop up on the HUD a warning if you take your hands off the steering wheel and drive where it has to engage the lane assist a few times. It'll pop up saying, asking you to please put your hands back on the wheel. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, it was fun. It's trying to scare the mother-in-law. So the parking sensor, that's something I should show you. It does have sensors, backup sensor and camera, traction control system. This is an all-wheel drive as well, so it'll I won't get into technical stuff. And again, that's your reset your tire pressures. So it does also have brake assist on the front, which I've also tested thanks to someone pulling out in front of me, and it automatically engaged the brakes. It also has pedestrian sensing. I've not tested that one. I didn't feel comfortable with my wife behind the wheel and me walking in front of a moving car. She might actually gun it. Just kidding. All right, so let's look at the rear view. So I'm going to put it in reverse. And there's your camera. You'll notice here there's some there's an area behind the vehicle, and I'm going to start backing up. You can see, I hope you can pick up the beep. It's beeping, and the first section is turned red. If there's cross traffic, you'll actually see the side, it'll beep and that'll turn red. So you got to watch it. I can keep backing. Bang! Oh, just kidding. So I'm a little closer. The next one in is turned red. I still have, I think I have like a good foot or so left. But that gives you an idea of the backup camera. So it is very useful, and it works well. It makes it a lot easier. I didn't think I would really like it because I don't like having all the gadgets and stuff, and honestly, it's ridiculously easy to use and makes backing in and out just cake. All right, a couple things that I failed to mention. It has on the mirror, there are 3 remote control settings. So if you've got 3 garages, you can have, and a garage door opener on each one, you can have all 3 of them on your mirror. The turbo does not have a boost gauge. I guess it's an SUV. You don't really need one, but it would be cool to have. This is Mazda is a driver's car. It does not have a CVT, a constant velocity transmission. While those are smooth, they're not fast. They're not exhilarating. This is a Mazda. It's zoom zoom. It's a driver's car, so no CVT. It does have a adjustable and telescoping steering wheel, so you can move the steering wheel up and down as well as forward and back towards you or towards the dash, which is very nice when you have people of various heights in the vehicle. So this isn't a driving video, but I will mention on the sound. So Mazdas aren't known for being the quietest cars because they try to be lightweight. But this one, they made some weight savings. One, having the 4-cylinder engine instead of a 6, and then did some other weight savings, which allowed them to add like 50 pounds of sound deadening material to the cabin. And I will say that this thing is super quiet. Super quiet. On the doors, so just on this part, you've got your standard seal. You've also, though, have a seal between the doors. There is a seal, hopefully this will show, right here, that matches up to the bottom of the door. This comes all the way in to that seal. Really cuts down on the wind noise. It also, I might mention, keeps this clean. So this isn't going to get all dirty. And I'm trying not to be too technical. And then, of course, there's another seal right here. All this and another seal up top. And all that adds to... Did you hear how nice that door shut? I mean, it's really good quality. They really knocked it out of the park on this one. And for the price on these, to get the equivalent on some of the other top-selling SUVs, I won't mention any names, but I'm sure you guys can figure out the top-selling SUVs, 3 rows. In order to get the same stuff, you had to go like $5,000 more, and quite frankly, they just aren't as sexy. I mean, this is just such a nice looking vehicle. So it's and it drives like a Mazda. In other words, it doesn't drive like an SUV. I'm not going to say it's sports car driving, but drive one and let me know what you think, because I'm really curious as to see what other people have to say about how well these drive. So let me quickly mention the miles per gallon. This is the highest fuel-rated 3-row SUV that is not a hybrid and is not a underpowered, normally aspirated 4-cylinder. It gets, in the front-wheel drive version, you get 22 city, 28 highway, 25 combined. In the all-wheel drive, you get 21 city, 27 highway, 23 combined. So for a 3-row SUV, it gets really good gas mileage. Now, it does, if you're towing, this one is only rated at 3,500 pounds for towing. Some of the others are rated at 5,000. If you're towing, well, this one, anything heavy, then this one isn't for you. So here's the key fob. As you can see, it's got lock, unlock. open and close the back, and then your panic. There is a actual key that I can't do with one hand. If you slide this over like so, no, can't do it in one hand. This will pop out an actual key, so if your battery on this dies, you can still start it. Alright, I'm hoping that this will show the HUD. If the camera will stay focused. After driving with the HUD for a little bit, you will look at the HUD all the time instead of the gauges. It'll bring up your it'll show your navigation. It will show street information if you wish. There's your tachometer. Again, I'm hoping that it's showing on the camera. That's your tach. And depending, remember how there's that info? It will show you the lines for your lane keep assist. They will be up there, and if you get close to one, it'll flash. It'll show you the speed limit if it knows the speed limit. So, and it's very useful. Again, I'm hoping it's showing. I got a piece of black paper on the windshield trying to get it to light up, so hopefully the camera is focusing properly. But again, it's really cool feature. So here's the dash lights at night. You can see that they are a nice clean white look. They are not some ugly red or green or other color. I'll back off a little and you can see I don't have the lights on. There we go. So I'm in the garage, and so the dash lights will come on. It'll give you brightness based upon the amount of light it detects outside. And I hope that it ain't strobing as much as it looks like it is. If so, I apologize. There's your steering wheel. Lights showing on the steering wheel. I'll back up the chair. There you go. That's what it looks like at night. So, or at least in the dim with the lights on. One other cool feature is when you're pulling into the garage, it will sense that. The lights will come on for like 30 seconds. There is your parking lights. You have a halo with two, basically what I call eyebrows on each side. Those flow right into the grille, give you a really nice look on the front. Now let's move to the back. And there's your back. If you'll notice, it's the same design. It's got the halo with the two eyebrows that flow right into the chrome accent piece going over to the other side. Really nice look. Someone apparently complained about the tailpipes being round. Well, they match the taillights. So back to the front. This is with just the headlights on. That they are LED. All the lights are LED, so they're going to last a long time. They're nicely bright, and on this one at least, and the Signature, I'm not sure on the Touring and Sport. They're adaptive headlights. That is, when you turn a corner, if you're going around a curve or a corner, the inside light actually will move. I think it's 18 degrees and into the turn, so you can see where you're going. So I had them on bright, and this is regular. This is the regular dim. You'll also notice that little light on the bottom there. There's your fog lights. So it has little small fog lights. The Signature would have a light accenting the grille, runs along the bottom edge of the big grille, which looks really cool. But there's your lights. I mean, again, it's a really attractive, athletic, sporty look, and you know, that's kind of the zoom. The drive matches the looks, and really nice. Very happy with the vehicle, and recommend, if you are looking at an SUV and you are a driver, to be sure to look at the new CX9s. So hopefully this was helpful. I tried to keep it practical. Again, I'm not a pro car reviewer, but I tried to hit on the things that a buyer would be interested in. If you got any questions, you know, ask. I'll answer if I can. I will try to do a video on the more detail on the entertainment system and that type of thing. If you found it helpful, please like, subscribe, comment, and good luck with your purchase.